Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn how to create this show hide password feature using React and Tailwind CSS. Now I'm going to set up a React project using Vite and then install Tailwind CSS, but I'll be fast forwarding through it because it's kind of a repetitive process which I do in every video. But don't worry, if you're new to this and don't know how to do it, I already have a tutorial on how to install Tailwind CSS and set up a new React project using Vite. So I'll be providing a link to it in the description below, or it will come over here somewhere as a pop-up. So once you're through it, then you can come back and resume this tutorial. Okay, so let's go ahead and set up our React project. Okay, so now we have installed Tailwind CSS. Now I'm just going to clean up my, new project which I have created. So we don't need this app.css, so I'm going to delete it. And then app.jsx, I'm going to remove all this. And we can do a simple hello world just to make sure our app is running perfectly fine and all the installation has gone properly. Okay. Let's make this a div and we can give this a class name, and I want this to expand the entire screen. So I'll give minimum of height screen and minimum of width screen. And I want to centralize everything. So I'll give a flexbox and center everything. And I'll give a light blue, slate color. So for now, let's just write hello world. Okay. And I'm going to run the server now. Okay, so it is running on 5174. Okay, so that means our installation has worked perfectly fine. Okay, so the very first step is to create this card component, and then we'll proceed with the input element over here. So let's go ahead and create a components folder, and I'm going to add a new component. I will call it card component.jsx. Yeah. Okay, so I have built this template, and here we will have a label, and this label I don't need this HTML for now. This is going to say password, and we can add some styles just to make it look a bit better. So we can call this text gray and 800. That should be dark enough. Font is medium size and margin bottom of 6. Okay, this looks good. And we want the card to be, different, the color of the card to be different from the background. So I'm going to give background color of 50. We had given 200, if I believe. Yeah. So a little bit of shadow, and width we can just give 80 for now. Maybe we can change it later. And a little bit of padding. And I want the corners to be rounded. So rounded LG. And this looks good. So we come over here, refresh it. Of course, I've not called this component. So instead of hello world, card component, yes, it's present. Okay. Yeah, this looks much better now. So now we are going to introduce our input field element. Okay, so we can create another component, and I'll call this password component. Okay, so password component will have like two different elements within this div element. So we'll have a input element, input tag, and here the type, it is going to be determined by the state in which the current state is going to be. So for example, if I come over here and this finished project that we have, so right now it is going to be of type password, right? But when I click on this, we're going to maintain this in a state, this show or hide password. So if I click on this, the type becomes text, and we can see the text whatever value we have written over here. Okay, so for that we can call our favorite use state hook. So I'll call this show password and set show password use state, and initially of course it's going to be false. So based on show password, this is going to be dynamic. If we want to see the password, we want it to be a text type, Otherwise, it's going to be password. Okay. And we can give a nice little, placeholder saying enter your password. Oops, sorry. Yeah. And for now, this looks good. And let's just save this. And we want to call this within the card component, right? So I'll call it over here. Password component. Yeah, this looks good. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we need to work on our styling a bit. But yeah, the input element is now for present over here. So if I come over here, let's style it a little better. Okay, so class name. We want the width to be full, and we want to add a little bit of x-axis and y-axis padding. Okay, and we want our border to be present. Border should be say 100, or let's make it a little bit darker. 100 would be too light. 400. And corners, I don't want it to be too rounded, so the card was rounded large, so let's make this medium. And text would be gray, but yeah, the text should be dark. But the placeholder, so we have, like, we can specifically style the placeholder as well. Let's make this 500. Okay, and let's see how this looks now. Okay, much better, but yeah, we still need to work on this a bit. And I think, yeah, this is, yeah, the reason it's like, there's no margin gap, even though we gave margin bottom of 6 something, is because this is a label, this is inline element. So we want to mark this as a block. So if I say, yeah, and margin bottom 6 is too much, I think it would be fine. Yeah, this looks much better. So yeah, we have this. Now, if you see, this is the default outline we have. So maybe we can spend some time, styling this. So if I come over here, let me just put enter. So I can see all the styles. Yeah. Okay. So I don't want the default outline. So, if it is in focus, outline is none. And if it is in focus again, then we want our own style. So you can look this up in the, Tailwind documentation, what I'm typing right now. So ring 2, basically it says I want a proper outline, and it's referred to as ring in Tailwind CSS terminology. So ring, and let's call this blue 200 or 500. Let's play around with this a bit. Okay, I think I did something wrong. Okay, I figured out the issue. It was a silly typo. I don't know why it took me so long to figure it out, but yeah, this is not was not spelled correctly. So if I come over here, there you go, it's working fine now. Great. But yeah, now coming to the main stuff. So we want this particular icon to be present over here, which will allow us to look or hide the password. So for that, we are going to use a third-party package, that is Lucide React. So it is like a very popular package which provides all sorts of lightweight icons for you. So yeah, you can definitely use this in your other projects as well if you want. So now that I have installed it, right, I'm going to incorporate this in this particular component itself. Okay, so we want it to be a button. So in the button, let me uh, fix the attributes. So this is button, and button we don't need any placeholder first. So but we do need on click function, right? So on click, I'll call the set show password. And remember guys, this is the toggling feature, right? So we can just write this, whatever was the previous value, change it, flip it. Okay. And here, uh, I will call this icons based on what is the state of this show password value. So for the logic, ternary operator is best suitable for it. So I'm going to call let's see, okay, it's not detecting, but yeah. So if the show password is true, right, that is we want to view the password. So currently password is visible. So we want the EyeOff icon, that is icon to hide the password. So EyeOff, and I'll close this self-closing tag, and I'll just I'll give the width and the height over here. So width is 5, height is also 5. And of course, we'll need to import EyeOff from Lucide React. So I and EyeOff from Lucide React. Okay. So of course, we need to add the other part as well. So I'll just copy this. Yeah. So I'll do npm run dev, refresh. Let's see. Okay, it is present, but yeah, we need to work on the positioning a bit. So I want to use absolute position so that I can position it perfectly fine. So I'll make this overall component relative, and I want to give absolute styling. So you give class name. This is absolute inset y0, right 0, and I want to centralize it. So the usual, and let's give it a little bit of a padding x-axis, and the color should be 600 or 500, doesn't matter really. So yeah, okay, this looks perfect. Okay, and yeah, it's working fine. So initially when we load, of course, it's a password a field, so we don't see anything. And when I click on this, it means I want to view the password. And if I click on this again, it remains hidden. So yeah, this is working. So we have come to the end of this tutorial. And if you like this video, or if you have any doubts throughout this process, feel free to leave a comment down below. And yeah, of course, the code is going to be available on GitHub. I'll provide a link to the source code as well. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, hope to see you on another video soon. Thank you. Bye bye.